Hafa Adai and welcome back. Well, whether it's the holidays or any other time of the year, grief is a topic that can affect everyone. Here with me to my right is Bernice McGill, and she will be talking a little bit more about grief. You are a grief specialist.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Bernice McGill. I'm originally from Guam. I am a certified grief recovery method specialist. And basically what that is I teach a method that helps people deal with their deep emotional pain. And I've been a specialist since 2016, along with my cousin, Darlene Garcia.
Right, and Darlene is someone that I've interviewed just last Christmas, and she has all of these different methods of grieving with grief. And so maybe, can you share with us what is grief at its basic core?
Yes, a lot of people think grief is just death or divorce, but grief is actually the normal and natural reaction to any type of loss. But what we're taught in society about grief is not normal or natural, and so a lot of people don't understand it. It's very complicated. Grief is so individual, like a thumbprint. So even if you lost the same person, each person's response and their journey is going to be very different. And so that's what makes it so unique.
Very true. And I think with grief, I mean, of course, the holidays are just around the corner. There's only a few days till Christmas.
Yes.
Why is it that during this time you always put together these grief talks and try to give back to the community, especially during the holidays?
Well, during the holidays, not everybody is so jolly and bright. Some people it's going to be their first holiday season without their loved one. Maybe they went through a recent divorce or they lost their job. And so the holidays can bring on just different pressures. Everything is about the gifts and the parties and, whatnot, especially like New Year's, But some people are not so jolly and bright. And definitely on Guam, also leading the nation in suicide. People are just going through a lot of deep emotional pain, and a lot of times they don't want to speak out, or they don't know that, who to turn to. And, the rates can get really high. And so we just want to get out the community, kind of give grief a voice and let people know that we're here to help, and just serve.
I really like that. And tell us more, the grief talks, they are happening at the Puerto Mocha, coming up in these next few weeks, is that correct?
Yes, well actually we launched a series in November, and so we have our last one in December is tonight actually, at Puerto Mocha in Tamuning, near the Coast 360 Bank, and it'll be upstairs from 6 to 8. However, we are launching a pilot class for helping children with loss, and so we actually don't help children or kids under 18. We do help the parents and caretakers. So we'll be launching a free pilot program for that in January, and then ongoing we have sessions as well as for the method that we teach, the action-based method.
Kind of something to look forward to in the new year. And tell me more about the method. I mean, you are a method specialist in grief. What does that mean, and what does that method look like?
Yes, so just a disclaimer, we are not licensed counselors or therapists. We do get certified to teach a method, and so grief recovery was actually founded by Mr. John James in the 1980s. He lost his son, and he was just kind of like looking for help, and he actually discovered the program and ways to help himself feel better. And so basically we teach, we educate, the community on the myths, which is like what people think they should do during, when they're going through a loss. Like a lot of people, you hear that, like be strong, or time heals all wounds, and then some people, they just don't know how to respond to you when, going through a loss, it can be very uncomfortable, so people say like the wrong things, or some mean things sometimes can be very hurtful. And so we kind of just want to educate the community about the myths and the art of condolence, what to say, what not to say, as well as like the STIRBs. Those are short-term energy releasing behaviors. So when someone has a broken heart, they just want to fill that void. And so they can turn to, drugs, alcohol, shopping, exercise, more or less. I used to be like 80 pounds lighter, but when my dad passed away in 2002, I used food as a STIRB, and I didn't know that at the time. But, now that I've gone through the journey, I kind of just started to help Darlene, but since the method works so powerfully for me, I said, man, I have to, get out there and community and help. So I'm just really honored to be with them in their journey.
Definitely, and we are honored to have you here, Bernice.
Thank you.
Maybe can you tell us more about how you got involved in becoming a grief method specialist? You said you also felt a very powerful loss in your life, and now you're giving back and helping others.
Yes, yes. Like I mentioned, Darlene is my cousin, and another hat that my husband and I were actually pastors. So of course, when she lost her husband, she would call me for prayer, and I would just love on her. And then the Lord actually called me and my husband to the brokenhearted. So we counsel a lot of people, and of course, the scripture is very powerful, prayer is very powerful, but grief recovery is also the practical method. So kind of like, if you're going to lose weight, of course you can pray and trust the Lord, but you also need to do the exercises and count your calories, you know what I mean? So grief recovery, the method is the practical piece, which is so exciting because I feel like I can give people more tools. Mm-hmm. What I bring to the table, which I think is so awesome, is that when I lost my dad in 2002, it was a very painful journey for me, and of course that's part of grief, a death. But also in 2015, my son, we sent him back to Texas to fulfill his football dreams, and I didn't realize, they call it empty nest syndrome. Even if you're a child, and that's more of like a positive thing, right? They're going to go fulfill their dream. Maybe there's parents out there that have children that are joining the military or going off to college. That can cause a very deep emotional pain. And, helping different people, I would feel gosh, this person lost their husband. My son just went away for, to go to high school, and I felt bad. But I love what grief recovery teaches, which is don't compare losses. So, a lot of people sometimes used to make fun of when people lose a pet. They're like, oh my gosh, you can get another pet. Why is that so dramatic? Right. But that can cause someone a serious emotional pain, especially if they, some people, their pets are like children, Right. So, just understanding about grief and not comparing losses, and kind of teaching people to honor their space, and, realize that they're going through an emotional pain, and that they have every right to feel the way they feel, but also that there's help in the community, and there's a process they can go through, and it's never gonna take away the pain of your loved one being gone, but definitely it will help you understand, and then it'll help you get to another place where at least you're not stuck. And that you can move forward by faith.
Very nice. Very good work, Bernice. And just finally, as we're wrapping up here, where can we contact you to find out more? I'm sure many people out there might be feeling the loss during the holidays. And so where can they contact you?
Yes, actually, my cousin's website, darlenegarcia.com. And then we just started our Facebook page. So Grief Recovery Guam is our Facebook page if they want to, if they want to follow us. My number is 747-5665. So I'm pretty sure you'll see it all over social media. But definitely give me a call. And again, I'm very honored to walk this journey with them.
We will. Thank you so much, Bernice.
Thank you.
And when we return, Jason Solis will, of course, close out our show with House to Home.